Hi and Assalamualaikum to everyone. My name is Alya Natasya Binti Hussin. My metric number is A21A2780. I am student from University Malaysia Kelantan UMK. My lecturer is Dr. Binti Hussin. In this video, I would like to present about the management principles implemented at Loob Holdings Sdn Bhd. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this is the objective of my presentation today. First, what is management and explain about the 4 management functions the Tealive'S company. Second, who is the top manager at Loob Holdings Sdn Bhd and explain 10 roles top manager perform in organization. And third, why innovation is important to CEO Brian Lou's job and explain how technology changed the manager works today. What is management? Management is the process of getting things done efficiently and effectively with and through other people. Efficiency and effectiveness have to do with the work being done and how it's being done. Efficiently means doing a task correctly and getting the most output from the least amount of inputs. Because managers deal with a lot of people, money, and equipment. Effectiveness means doing the right things by doing those work tasks that help the organization reach its goals. Management is the coordination and administration of tasks to achieve a goal. Such administration activities include setting the organization's strategy and coordinating the efforts of staff to accomplish this objective through the application of available resources. Management is essential for an organized life and necessary to run all types of management. Good management is the backbone of successful organizations. Okay, in organization, managers have their own function. According to the functions approach, managers perform certain activities or functions as they direct and oversee others' work. There are 4 management functions of manager, and there is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. The organizations exist to achieve some purpose. Someone has to define that purpose and find ways to achieve it. A manager is that someone and does things by planning. Planning includes defining goals, establishing strategy, and developing plans to coordinate activities. Setting goals, establishing strategy, and developing plans ensures that the work to be done is kept in proper focus and helps organizational members keep their attention on what is most important. For example, the CEO of Loob Holdings, Brian Lou, has made a planning to expand Tealive to international countries like Australia, China, United Kingdom, Japan, and Thailand. Other than that, Brian will also plan to open up at least 130 to 150 outlets a year. Managers are also responsible for arranging and structuring work to accomplish the organization's goals. This function is called organizing. Organizing includes determining what tasks are to be done and by whom, how tasks are to be grouped, who reports to whom, and who will make decisions. For example, out in less than 50 days, Brian Lou and his organization are bouncing back after being split up with child time. Powered by the mantra, T is our life, Loob Holdings is taking a step into the future today with the announcement of its new brand Tealive. Next is leading. We know that every organization has people and it's part of a manager's job to direct and coordinate the work activities of those people. We know that every organization has people and it's part of a manager's job to direct and coordinate the work activities of those people. This is the leading function. For example, Loob Holdings has trained 50 to 100 people in a month to work at their company. Almost 3,000 strong team of young passionate Tealive'S whom he affectionately calls Loobies. The fourth and final management function is controlling, which involves monitoring, comparing, and correcting work performance. After the goals are set, the plans formulated, the structural arrangements determined, and the people hired, trained, and motivated, there has to be some evaluation to see if things are going as planned. Any significant deviations will require that the manager get work back on track. For example, Brian Loo's control activities are usually concerned with the evaluation of achievement or the outcomes of actions performed to achieve the goal. Brian Loo have perfectly controlled all of the stock and raw material so that customers are always satisfied with service provided by Tealive. Top managers are those at or near the top of an organization. Top managers typically have titles such as Vice President, President Chancellor, Managing Director, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Executive Officer, or Chairperson of the Board. Top managers are individuals who are responsible for making decisions about the direction of the organization and establishing policies that affect all organizational members. Who is the top manager at Loob Holdings Sdn Bhd? The top manager at Loob Holdings Sdn Bhd is Brian Loo, who is founder and CEO of Loob Holdings Sdn Bhd. Brian Loo is a Malaysian entrepreneur. Brian Loo was born and raised in Paris, Malaysia. Brian Loo are the previous master franchise for the Cha Time brand in Malaysia, but his contract was terminated prematurely by franchise owner, although there were 24 years remaining. He was the CEO of the fastest growing beverage brand in Malaysia and the fastest growing Cha Time franchise in the Asian region. He earned a degree in biotech from Monash University in Melbourne, Australia. After his graduation, he returned to Malaysia and worked for a biotech company for 2 years in sales. Brian Loo, the award-winning entrepreneur, best known for making Tealive the top lifestyle tea brand in Southeast Asia, wants to bring joy to people's lives through tea, modernize tea drinking culture, and make it the new coffee. Envisioning Tealive as a brand that's born in Malaysia, raised for the world, Brian quickly scaled up to almost 700 outlets, serving 5 million consumers each month in 8 countries like Malaysia, United Kingdom, Australia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Cambodia, Brunei, and the Philippines. In management, there are 10 roles that all the manager always use. The 10 roles are figurehead, leader, liaison, monitor, disseminator, spokesperson, entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, negotiator. These 10 roles are then divided up into 3 categories, namely interpersonal, informational, and decisional. The interpersonal roles are ones that involve people, subordinates, and persons outside the organization, and the other duties that are ceremonial and symbolic in nature. The 3 interpersonal roles are figurehead, leader, and liaison. In figurehead, as a manager, you have social, ceremonial, and legal responsibilities. You're expected to be a source of inspiration. For example, many young people make Brian Loo as inspiration because he can rise up back after being in crisis with his workplace. Then, in leader, you provide leadership for your team, your department, or perhaps your entire organization. For example, Brian Loo takes responsibility to his worker if given a training before starting work at Tealive branches. Lesson is managers must communicate with internal and external contacts. You need to be able to network effectively on behalf of your organization. For example, Brian Loo has many contacts because he needs a supplier to his company's products. like durian smoothies, he needs to deal with durian supplier. The informational roles involve collecting, receiving, and disseminating information. The three informational roles include monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson. In monitor, we need to regularly seek out information related to your organization and industry, looking for relevant change in the environment. You also monitor your team in terms of both their productivity and their well-being. For example, Brian Loob needs to ask about his worker, either his worker like the environment or not. If the worker does not satisfy, he can change the environment to make the worker comfortable to work at Tealive'S branches. In Disseminator, this is where you communicate potentially useful information to your colleagues and your team. Then, in Spokesperson, managers represent and speak for their organization. In this role, you're responsible for transmitting information about your organization and its goal to the people outside it. Finally, the decisional roles entail making decisions or choices. The four decisional roles are entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, and negotiator. In entrepreneur, as a manager, you create and control change within the organization. This means solving problems, generating new ideas, and implementing them. For example, Brian Loob need always create new ideas to make his products always be favorite to all people. In disturbance handler, when an organization or team hits an unexpected roadblock, it's the manager who must take charge. For example, when someone trying to sabotage Brian Loob, he always find a way to get out from the situation. It is because he doesn't want the company's reputation get down. Then, in resources allocator, you will also need to determine where organizational resources are best applied. This involves allocating funding as well as assigning staff and other organizational resources. Finally, in negotiator, you may be needed to take part in and direct important negotiations within your team, department, or organization. Why innovation is important to CEO Brian Loob's job? Nothing is more risky than not innovating. Innovation means doing things differently, exploring new territory, and taking risks. And innovation isn't just for high-tech or other technologically sophisticated organizations. In today's challenging environment, innovation is critical and managers need to understand what, when, where, how, and why innovation can be fostered and encouraged throughout an organization. For example, Brian Loob always finding a way to survive after he been terminated from Chatime. He is continually looking for new ways to do his job better, that is, to be innovative. Managers not only need to be innovative personally, but encourage their employees to be innovative. As you can see, being a manager is both challenging and exciting. The innovation is important to CEO Brian Loob because he wants to be more productive among entrepreneurs. The DIY bubble tea kit started off as a pet project, and his next goal is to turn it into an international appeal. Loob Holding has several more kits coming up from their sister brands such as Unibridge Noodle, Define Food, Define Burgers, and Gindaco. To build a center, Tealive has invested a great deal of their assets and resources into setting it up, which now also serves as a retail technology research development to ensure that the business operations remain in good shape for all the Tealive'S worldwide. Then, Tealive have partnering with food brands and expected venture Tealive'S made a slew of strategic partners. With a startup called Monster, Tealive did a university program that offers its participants opportunities to a project development with Loob Holding, fulfilling both Monster's bid to provide opportunities for university students. Partnering with Mula, netizens were tasked with snapping pictures of Tealive branded cars in the wild for a chance at drinks and discounts. Meanwhile, with Go Get, Tealive introduced a tea break takeover Facebook campaign that offer 50 cups of Tealive for 10 winners who post a picture of themselves drinking or declaring their love for tea. This is the last objective for today, and that is how technology changed the manager work today. Technology is also changing how a manager's work is performed. Historically, the work site was located close to a source of skilled labor, so employees were near their bosses. Management could observe what work was being done and could easily communicate with employees face to face. Through the advance of technological advancements, managers are able to supervise employees in remote locations, and the need for face-to-face interaction has decreased dramatically. That's all from me. Thank you.